often hear my story ask me, Shamim, how did you do it? Life has taught me that if a person can find their true purpose and the reason they exist in this world, that is the biggest tool in becoming resilient. Purpose means that no matter what challenges are thrown on your way, you continue on achieving your goal. We do not have the pleasure of choosing where we are born, but we do choose how to live. I was born of Hazara ethnicity in the central east of Afghanistan. Hazara have a long history of persecution and discrimination in Afghanistan. Throughout the history, they have been forcefully removed from their villages and had their lands stolen. This discrimination began in the 16th century and continues today. Most Hazaras are Shiite Muslim, and they share a similar history to other groups in the world who have experienced the violence and discrimination based on their identity. I grew under Taliban control. I have 7 beautiful, smart, and mindful siblings. As a child, I remember seeing my neighbors get murdered. In these dark times, individuals were often confined to their homes, and school was not available to sate our thirst for learning. Most public events were held in the mosque and was only for men. Despite all these memories of loss and conflict, I also remember the beauty in the people of Afghanistan. I recall sharing delicious communal food with our family. Food is so important to us. People often associate Afghanistan with poverty. Though poverty exists, but I found, alongside the poverty, the sense of a community that helps each other, as we did. During the dinner time, we would run and would give a portion of our food to our neighbors who we knew that had little. When Taliban fell, my mother, my father, and I were listening to the news and to the formation of new government. I remember when we learned that the school will be built in our village, my father was so happy. Until this time, as a Hazara and girl, school was not an option for us. My father and my mother were not educated because when they were growing up, Kabul was named the Paris of Afghanistan. But Hazaras were not allowed to attend school anywhere in the country. When our safety was at risk, we moved to Pakistan. We lived among other Hazaras in Quetta. Majorities of Hazaras living in Pakistan left Afghanistan in the 19th century when government of Afghanistan historically committed genocide against 60% of Hazaras. Our journey from Afghanistan to Pakistan was not easy with young children for my parents. They have left behind everything, their family, their community, and all their possessions. I did not know the word at the time, but I have learned that my parents were resilient beyond belief. I now know through my own journey what fueled this resilience, why they become so strong to overcome all the challenges. Because they had hope, a hope that life could be better, and a purpose. Their purpose was to keep their family safe and to educate their children. I attended a refugee school in Quetta, Pakistan. This was not a typical educational experience. We were targets of bombings on our street, attack on our school buses, and our mosques. I experienced the loss of friends, families, and classmates in these attacks. I walked among broken and bloody bodies. I felt helpless often, but introspective always. Would I sit and cry, or would I do to help? Witnessing the innocent deaths drove me closer to my purpose. This feeling empowered me to make a difference. Empowering myself was not possible. I'm sorry. Empowering myself was not impossible. It was not possible if I did not have a supportive father. I remember when my community was discouraging me from going to school, my father plainly told them that he believed that men and women should have equal opportunity to obtain an education. Having a supportive family made me the most privileged girl in my community, despite our circumstances. Life did not get easy. Security did not get better. But my determination made me to work harder. I went to school and worked as a tailor with my father. Most of the days when I did not have time to prepare for my exams, I would ask my sister and my brother to read aloud from my textbooks while I sewing. But sometimes it fell all for naught. When I graduated from high school as a refugee, I was not allowed to go to university in Pakistan. I talked to my parents to send me back to Afghanistan, who were confused and uncertain about our future. But I was determined. Sometimes I was imagining myself having my books in my bags, attending classes in the university. Sometimes in my dreams, I was smiling, having my books under my arm, and walking proudly. But the other times, when I was realizing that pursuing higher education is not possible for me, I would just sit and cry. My destiny just could not be my high school. I have to go further. When I was younger, I used to meet people from USA. I came to believe that the world was ended in USA. And after that, it was heaven. I find my own heaven, Canada. I arrived in Canada in 2013, journeying from Kazakhstan to US and then to Canada smuggled by boat. I arrived homeless. While I was searching and asking from the people, I learned about Covenant House, a youth homeless shelter. Covenant House helped me to go through my immigration process, find me to a school to learn English. Soon after, I got accepted in Centennial College in nursing program. I was not only a student in Centennial College, I started after one semester to be a peer tutor and a smart student service coordinator working with CST office and helping other students to be successful. And now, from homeless and refugee, I am graduating from a nursing program this December. Throughout my challenges, I felt that the resiliency that my parents had demonstrated, that has passed to me. In 2015, once I started working and going to school, I started a non-profit organization, knowing that other Afghan children and women have the same dream as me. This organization is supporting students and providing food for the families who are struggling to support their children. The biggest lesson I have learned is that the key to resiliency is to find your purpose. Find what makes you passionate. Find what makes you to keep working even when you are exhausted and just want to give up. This purpose is something to lean on in the worst of the days. Purpose gives us hope and allows us to see a future that is different than our current one. Purpose. I can tell you mine. It is to finish my education and always continue to learn, to support my family in any way that I can, and to help those in my community that need little help. I'm guided by it, driven by it, and hold it close to my heart. What is yours? Thank you.